Students, welcome back. We were discussing the factors, specifically the environmental factors which influence the decision making of organizations to purchase any product. First of all, we were discussing the demand for the product. As I've told you in previous video, that if there is any rise in the demand of consumer, then there will definitely be a rise and an increase in the demand of business. Then economic outlook means economic condition of country is very much important in this regard. Economic condition of the country is very much important in this regard, because if the economy of country goes well, then organizations will take positive decisions. On the other hand, if the economy is not going to the right direction and economic indicators do not show the prosperity in future, then organizations will definitely be affected and their decision making will certainly be affected. After that, cost of money is very much important. Cost of money is also the factor which is economic factor. As we have told you that we if the cost of production is higher, then the companies will have to charge higher prices, and if organizations charge higher prices, then consumers will not be able to purchase the product. Then cost of money is very much important, that the money they're spending should be prosper, and basically it should be cost effective. The decisions should be cost effective. Next, supply of material. For example, the supplier of the product does not provide us the product in time. If the supplier of any raw material does not provide the product in time, then decision of the company will definitely be influenced. Okay, if the product is not available. For example, there in corona there was a problem in transportation and shipments of the products, and to import any product from other organizations or from other countries, then if we cannot get raw material from other countries, or we cannot import raw material from other countries, if we do not get supply of the raw material, then definitely the decision of the company or the decision of the organization will be affected. So supply of the raw material is very much important in this regard. Next, it is technology. If there is any change in the technology, then organizations will also have to change the decisions. This is very much important to understand, that the organization is if the organization is observing any change in the technology or any advancement in the technology, then organization will definitely be having a decision to change in their functions and the procedures, and to adopt new technology, because adaptation to new technology is very much important. Because those organizations which do not change and which do not update them with the latest technology, they ultimately die. So we have to see and we have to understand this, that technology is very much important, and organizations have to adopt, and organizations have to get influenced with the advancement of the technology. We can see the decisions, as we have already discussed in class, that there is a company called Nokia and there is a company called BlackBerry. They used to rule the cellular company or the cellular industry in one time, but as they did not go with the change and the changing requirements of the technology, and they did not change themselves. That's why now they do not exist in market anymore, or their share in the market is very low or very minimum. So why their share is very low and why they do not exist in the market? Just because they do not adopt to the technology, and their adaptation to new technology was not there, and they did not change themselves according to the change in the technology. So when there is a change or advancement or an upgradation in the technology, organizations have to change. So these are the factors. So this is also one of the factor which influences the organizational decision. Then the culture. When we go to any new region, then we have to see the culture of the organization, and we have to provide the products according to the culture of the organization. For example, McDonald's in USA, they provide hamburger to their customers. But since ham is not acceptable in Pakistani culture or Muslim culture, then McDonald's expand their organization and they go to the countries which are basically Muslim countries. There they do not provide ham, they provide beef and chicken. Okay, beef burgers. And as they go to India, in India people do not eat beef. If there they provide only chicken, or they provide potato or veggie burger. So whenever we go to a new region, whenever we go to a new country, we have to see and we have to analyze and we have to assess the environment and specifically the culture of the region, and then we should try to, and the organization try to provide the product which is acceptable in the culture of that region. So this is also a factor which influence the decision of a co-organization. Then political government, not just political government, but also the regulatory authorities of the organization who try to change the policies, export policies, business policies, monetary policies, fiscal policies. When there is any change in the interest policy, when there is any change in the fiscal policy, when there is any change or any upgradation in the monetary policy of the organization, then organizational decisions are also influenced. So these politics of the country is also a factor which basically influences the decision making of the organization. Then competition. When a competitor takes any decision, the organization will also do the same, and organization will also change their decisions. For example, there is a company called Toyota, and its competitor is called Honda. Toyota has a product called Prius. They have a car, and Honda has observed that Toyota has a car like Prius. the same technology and same model has also been launched by Honda with the name of Insight. Let me show you some pictures of these both cars. जी, तो स्टूडेंट्स, ये जो कार है ये है टोयोटा की प्रियस, जिसकी आप डिज़ाइन देख सकते हो, और जो पीछे से ये ब्लैक ग्लास लगा हुआ है इसके डिग्गी में, इसके बूट स्पेस में, ये ट्रंक में। होंडा ने बिल्कुल इसी तरह की कार लॉन्च की जिसको हम लोग कहते हैं इनसाइट, और इन्होंने भी इसी तरह का मॉडल लॉन्च किया। ये क्यों इन्होंने इसी तरह का मॉडल लॉन्च किया, इसकी रीजन क्या है कि ये वो कंपनीज हैं जो जिनके डिसीजंस इन्फ्लुएंस होते हैं अपने कंपेटिटर को देख के, और कंपटीशन या कंपेटिटर्स जो हैं वो एक ऐसा फैक्टर है जो बेसिकली किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के जो डिसीजंस हैं उनको इन्फ्लुएंस करते हैं। तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि हम लोगों ने कुछ फैक्टर्स पढ़े हैं, जो फैक्टर्स इन्फ्लुएंस करेंगे आपके डिसीजन मेकिंग को जब आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कोई डिसीजन मेकिंग करेंगे। तो डिसीजन मेकिंग के टाइम पे जो कंपटीशन है, कंपेटिटर्स हैं, वो जो है वो इन्फ्लुएंस करेंगे आपके डिसीजन मेकिंग को। इसी तरीके से आजकल अगर आप देखें तो जिस मिठाई की दुकान पे हम जाएंगे, सर्दियां आ गई हैं, तो जिस मिठाई की दुकान पे भी जाएंगे, देन वी विल गो टू एनी स्वीट शॉप और स्वीट vendor, we will see there they will be offering gajar ka halwa and dal ka halwa and panjiri and the things like that, and these are the things which are used in winter season. So every sweet shop will have these sort of things just because the competition and just because their competitors are offering the same product, and they will definitely be offering. If they do not offer, then customers will go to the competitor shop and their customer will be ruined, and they will face loss in the in their business. So these are the factors which were important to understand that they influence the decision making of the organization. Let's take a look on them once again and then we will move forward. So, students, first of all, demand for the product is very much important for the organizations to take decisions about their purchase, economic condition, then cost of money, then supply of material, specifically the raw material supply, then the technology upgradation and advancement and innovation in the technology, then cultural factors, political factors, and competition and competitor, the factors of competitors and competition. These are all the factors which basically affect the decisions of the organization to purchase any product. So after this, then we will move to the next slide, and the next slide we have some factors which are basically not the organizational, not the environmental factors. These are the factors which are not outside the organization, but these are the factors within the organization which influence the decision making of the organization. For example, first of all, we will see the objective. What are the objectives of the organization? If the objective of organization is to provide a good quality product, then the decision making will be according to providing good quality product, and they will not become greedy of selling more and more products. They will be thinking, and their focus or the center of their focus will be to get satisfaction of employees by providing good quality products to them. So the objective of the organization puts or affects the decision of the organization. Then their policies. Okay, policies means what should be the policy of the organization, what is the mission of the organization, and how and when and where and how organization is supposed to run. This is very much important, and organizations decide their policies first and then they act on the policy. If the organization changes the policy, then their activities and their actions will also change. Number three, procedures. Okay, if company decides to perform all their activities through an automatic procedure, for example, then the decisions will be different. If organizations thinks to become manual, then their decision will be different and their activities will be different. So the procedure or the criteria of doing or of performing any duty or doing their business will affect the overall decisions of the organization, and this will put impact on the overall functioning and performance of the organization. Then structure. Organizational structure is very much important. If organization is small, then their decisions will be different. If organization is large, then their decision will be different. If organization have many divisions in their organizations, then their decision making will be different. So the structure of the organization is basically the factor which influences the decision of the organization, because the different structures may feel different problems, they may face different challenges, and in order to face the challenges, in order to solve the problems, they will definitely have their different decisions. So the structure of the organization, small or large or divisional structure or departmental structure or functional structure, or organization with a little with one or two products, or organization with more than dozen products, they will definitely have different decisions making, and they will definitely have different procedures to perform the duties. And this is the structure which basically influences the decision of the organization. Next beta, it is the system. As we have studied that there are two different types of system. One is open system and one is closed system. So we will definitely have to take a look whether the organization is open system or if organization is closed system, then the decision of the organization will be influenced. So in this video, sorry, in this slide, we have studied two different factors which influence the decisions of the organization. Number one, environmental factors, and in environmental factor we studied demand, we studied the competition, we studied the economic situation of the country, we also studied the culture and other aspects. And after that we tried to understand the factors within the organization which influence the decision of the organization, and the factors which are within the organization are the policies of the organization, are the objectives of the organization, they are the procedures of the organization, are the structures of the organization, and also the system of the organization. So these systems of the organization, so these are the factors which put impact on the decision of the organization. So students, after understanding this, we will move to our next slide, and in next slide we have some individual factors. Individual factors means the people in the organization or the individuals who are the participants of the decision making, and their individual factors will also be noted, we will also be considered in order to take the decisions. These factors are very important factors, and we will continue with these factors in next slide. In next video, our video is going to finish. We will start the same in next video.